So how y'all doing? I'm gonna do a movie review for one of my favorite Scooby-Doo movies. I know what you're thinking. This movie's been reviewed countless times. Well, I understand that, but let me go over why I like this. Okay, so this is considered to be one of the best, if not the best, Scooby-Doo movie ever made. And what this has going for it is the monsters turned out to be real, and only the witch's ghost, Scooby-Doo and the witch's ghost, Scooby-Doo and the Reluctant Werewolf, meets the Boo Brothers, Ghoul School, and Cyber Chase. Those are the top Scooby-Doo movies. None of those have ever been surpassed where the monsters turn out to be real, at least in some form. Um, I first saw this when it came out. I know I had the VHS copy back in the day, so where they Daphne's hosting. I'm sure y'all have seen it. Daphne's hosting a show on called Coast to Coast with Daphne Blake. And they're doing a segment on hauntings, and she's trying to find a real haunting, and they end up finding one in Louisiana. Now they go into Moonscar Island, which is named after Morgan Moonscar the pirate. And it's also haunted by um, zombies of tourists that fell for that made the trek to the island not knowing the curse of the cat gods, cat creatures. And it's also during the Civil War. There were Confederate barracks on the island, so it's also haunted by zombies of the Confederate soldiers, which is cool. It's done really well. There's a reason why this is, like I said, there's really not too much I can say about it that hasn't already been said, but there's a reason why it's considered the best one. It's because everything was executed perfectly, right down to the songs by Sky Cycle, which is "The Ghost Is Here" and of course "It's Terror Time Again." This was definitely it never, no matter how many times you view it, it never gets old, it never gets boring. Uh, I'd say it's due for a Blu-ray release, wouldn't you? Um, there was no official soundtrack to this, although you can get the apparently you can get the songs on the Witch's Ghost soundtrack as like a bonus or something, but it's pretty hard to get. And from what I understand, the songs that are on that CD don't sound like they do in the movie, so I don't know because I've never run across the album. So, but I really enjoy this. Always have. It's one of my go-tos. Usually when I watch this one, I watch Witch's Ghost right after, and usually ones like Boo Brothers and Reluctant Werewolf aren't far behind. So, yeah, I'm sure a lot of y'all have seen Scooby-Doo on Zion if you're Scooby-Doo fans, but in case you haven't, I highly recommend it. Now, for the second part of this video, I'm going to address the elephant in the room. And what I mean by that is that thing that they call a sequel to this. Okay, yes, there was a bullshit freaking sequel to this. You know how Warner Brothers is. They're fucking stupid. They can't leave well enough alone. And the fact that this was the sequel was directed by a freaking female that obviously isn't well known, which I can certainly see why. Um, Obviously never viewed the original film because the island didn't look the same. Where it was clearly in the original, it was a small island, and it was just full of fuck ups. I mean, even trying to add, Cassandra Peterson voicing Elvira didn't help it. If anything, that honestly made it worse because she. Um, Another thing I've noticed about this is even due to how bad it is this is tells you about the glitch in Amazon's rating system. That used to be you had to actually write a review on Amazon, but now you can just rate it, which either Warner Brothers had a lot of people give it a good rating on Amazon, had some of their workers make Amazon accounts and do that, or either that or my cat wants to say hi. This is Raven. I'm sure you've seen her before. Say hi, Raven. Yes. 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 There you go. Okay. Yeah, she thinks she's a parrot. She climbs up on my shoulder. But, they obviously paid people to, write good reviews because, I mean, really, any real Scooby-Doo fan, nobody likes that movie. Nobody. It's just crap. I mean, it's like that Ghostbusters 2016 or the Nightmare on Elm Street remake that came out in 2010. It's just best if you pretend that it doesn't exist. I mean, I'll give you a spoiler alert. The whole ending of their sequel is fucked up to fit Velma's liberal skeptic logic. Okay? The characters of Velma and Fred should have been done away with a long time ago, because in the 80s, movies like Scooby-Doo and the Reluctant Werewolf, Scooby-Doo meets the Boo Brothers, and, things like that, 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo, it proved that you did not need those two characters on that show. I mean, in recent years, it's not just Velma's, bullshit, it's Fred's too. I mean, he makes it look like he's gonna fuck the Mystery Machine at any given time. Okay? I mean, seriously, who's writing this dumbass shit? So, I mean... and, the original Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island came out in 1990... I want to say 99? 98, 99, around there. I don't remember the exact year it came out, but, so the bullshit sequel came out in 2019, so... If the person that made it was worried about, scaring kids. Anybody that watched the original was an adult now, you idiot. Just how stupid are you people? Or maybe you don't know simple math, I'm not sure. But the one that came out a few months before that, because there's usually a couple Scooby-Doo animated movies that come out a year. The one that came out before that was, well, they did a shit sequel to the 13 Ghosts too, and again, every possible way they could fuck it up, they did. It's it's like spitting in the face of a Scooby-Doo fan. It's like spitting in the face of Vincent Price, because Vincent Price voiced Vincent Van Gogh on the original show, and they had some goofy guy that some people are apparently stupid enough to think sounds like Vincent Price, some guy named Maurice. It's like, no. Nobody sounds like Vincent Price but Vincent Price. And if they wanted to do a real sequel, there's ways around that. But like I said, one of the things that they did was again, they brought frickin' Fred and Velma in. Fred and Velma were not on the original show. They had no business being in the movie to begin with. None. They were not there on the show. That was one of the best parts about 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo, is those two were not there. But, yeah, so the sequel, The Return to Zombie Island, The Saga of the 13th Ghost, which is the so-called follow-up to the 13 Ghost Show. Avoid those at all costs. Do yourself a favor and just pretend that they don't exist. Stick with the originals. Like I said, Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island is a great flick. It's great in every aspect. But, you know, they Warner Brothers felt they had to ruin it. But then again, when does Warner Brothers ever make the smart decisions? I mean, apparently they, at some point in the near future, they plan to do the same to Reluctant Werewolf, where or Shaggy turned into a werewolf. They plan to ruin that too. So, just be forewarned about that. And they'll probably go back and ruin Witch's Ghost and anything else like that, just because they can't leave well enough alone. And the reason why the Scooby-Doo ones with the monsters turn out to be real work so well is because they're different. See, Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? In, you know, the early shows in the 60s and 70s, okay. Unmasking, you know, the bad guy, you know, the monster, okay. It worked. It was a product of its time. But at the end of the day, you're telling the same story over and over again. Yeah, the monster may be different, the motive may be different, but the storyline is still the same. Okay? Ghost wants money, or, you know, freaking, you know, the person wants revenge, so they cook up a story or whatever. Okay, it's the same thing. Okay? And that's why, you know, you got to change it up. That's why, in terms of the TV shows, like, What's New Scooby-Doo was good. Okay? But what they're trying to do with these shows is they're trying to redo what they did with the Scooby-Doo Where Are You series and the old series like that. And you can't do that. You got to be different. I'm not saying that they're not good. But, you know, if the shows had a few instances where, you know, the monsters turned out to be real or whatever, you know, they would have been a lot better. Because that's, like I said, with Scooby-Doo and Zombie Island, and Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost, and all those other ones. Ones like that, where the monsters turn out to be real, that's why those are the best rated ones. And I don't mean Warner Brothers, you know, paying people to frickin' claim that, you know, that they were good. They didn't need to with those because they were good. Now those so-called sequels, they're not good. And since when does Warner Brothers do a sequel to an animated Scooby-Doo movie anyway? They may have characters from another movie in it, like the Hex Girls. Always welcome to see them. But, you know, there was no reason for a Zombie Island sequel. There's no reason for a follow-up to the 13 Ghosts. Especially if you planned on screwing it up to begin with. But, like I said, Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, great movie, but don't bother with the sequel. And if you do run across it, let's say or somebody gives it to you, gives you a copy of the DVD, don't bother watching it, just throw it in the trash where it belongs. On top of that, I'm going to let you know now, they are Warner Brothers is starting to sneak those movies onto compilations. Like, there's like a 8-pack movie of Scooby-Doo movies that has the 13 Ghosts one snuck on there. And then with the Zombie Island, they're packaging it with the original as a double feature to get people to watch it. So, don't fall for it. Anyways, hope y'all have a nice day. Have more videos for you soon, and I'll see you next time.